Herring. You know, I had the opportunity to be governor. I had the opportunity to actually work and have a Republican Attorney General. Let's make sure Terry has Mark Herring as his Attorney General. As a matter of fact, I think until the last few years, that maybe not every Virginian understood how much good or damage an Attorney General could do. I don't think anybody doubts that anymore. So if you care about making sure that women's rights are protected, that we make the right investments, that we have an Attorney General that actually enforces the law and not his own social agenda, then let's make sure we make Mark Herring. You know, we are the statewide ticket. We have Mark, we have probably some of the most starkest contrasts I can ever imagine, I'm trying to be politically correct here, between Ralph Northam and the other candidate for Lieutenant Governor. When we elect Ralph, somebody who is a doctor, served in the military, comes from the Eastern Shore, knows Hampton Roads, but what Ralph will also be able to do when we hold Mark's seat and Ralph's seat is that Ralph Northam is going to be able to make the ever shy and retiring Dick Saslaw once again majority leader of the Senate. You know, I've known Terry McAuliffe for 33 years. We worked together at the Democratic National Committee back in 1980. And I said I wasn't sure I was going to acknowledge this. It was really hard. I came out of law school, worked at the DNC as a fundraiser. And Jim Dillard, Terry McAuliffe was my boss. And he was younger than me. But I've seen Terry and Dorothy and their family grow in Virginia. I've seen the kind of commitment he has brought to this campaign, the fact that he has traveled to every corner of Virginia, the fact that he has visited every one of the 23 community colleges in Virginia, the fact that he understands that Virginia once again needs to be known as the best managed state in the country, the best state for business, the best state for an educational opportunity. And the way you do that is you do that by bringing Virginians together, by looking around at the changing face of Virginia that is reflected in this room and realize that Virginia is going to be a 21st century leader. We've got to take advantage of every Virginian's skills and talents. Elections matter. Elections matter. Look at some of the folks I work with. Some of the folks I work with in Washington make Richmond look rational even when the legislature's in session. You know, but that, when we see what happens when you turn over government to folks who believe their ideology or their unwillingness to compromise, or their way or the highway, leads to kind of the dysfunction that saw where this crowd shut down our federal government, came within hours of defaulting on our national debts. And that kind of approach would be the approach that the other side would bring to Richmond this year if they were successful. It's one of the reasons why, as I look around this crowd, and I'm not going to call out others, I see not just Democrats and independents, but I see a lot of Republican former elected officials here as well, because they realize that Terry McAuliffe will continue to take Virginia into the 21st century. Jim Dillard, thank you. I'm going to bring them out in a moment. There's going to be someone else. Dorothy is coming out as well. Dorothy, who Our kids have known each other. They've gone to school together. I'm going to spend next weekend crisscrossing Southwest Virginia. Dorothy McAuliffe is going to be a great First Lady.
Yeah.
We'll all be proud of her. I know that mostly you just came to see Mark and me and Jerry and Dorothy. But we've got somebody else who we are all so proud of. You know, in the 4.5 years I have been in the United States Senate, I have been a little bit, people would say I'm a little obsessed about trying to get our country's balance sheet right. Trying to recognize we've got to make some hard choices around revenues and entitlements to make sure that we invest in education, to make sure that Medicare and Social Security are going to be here 30 years from now, to make sure that America continues to lead in research and science and development. Well, I've got to tell you, I've studied these last 70 plus years of Democrats or Republicans, when we've had deficits, when we've had surpluses. Under Bill Clinton, this country had a surplus. Under Bill Clinton, America invested in education and science and was the envy of the rest of the world. Under Bill Clinton, we made hard choices that allowed us to get our fiscal balance sheet right and allowed us to lead the world in the 21st century. So my fellow Virginians, my fellow Americans, please welcome the 42nd President of the United States of America. Please welcome the future First Lady. And as hard as this for me to say this, please welcome His future Excellency, the 72nd Governor of Virginia. If you do your work, we'll do our work. Come next Tuesday night, we're going to have a great